Hello and welcome to Sticatto Stitches. I am wearing a scarf that I knit. I did not knit it. I wove it, weaved it, wove it. I weaved it. I don't know which one is right. I weaved it on my rigid Heddle loom, and I was a little bored yesterday and I decided to whip that thing out. It's had a scarf on there since November, and it shouldn't take more than an hour and a half to finish this whole scarf. Yet it's taken since November for me to even pick it back up. So let me show it to you. It's really fun. It's right here. So it looks like this. This is the Ashford 16-inch rigid Heddle loom. I have some actual weaving yarn on here. This warp is a wool warp. So if you are a weaver, there is an email list that you can join called Peter Parchis. I'm going to have to remember what his name is, but I will put it down in the description below. Every month he will send out an email with his weaving specials, his yarn specials. They are unbeatable. So for instance, I got 2 pounds of wool for $16. And it's not bad wool either. Maybe a little bit on the rustic side, but not anything bad at all. And then for the weft, I have 2 different colors of merino going right now. They are very similar. One is like a lightish neon green, and the other is this gray with the little flecks. I guess not really flecks, they're like mini stripes, mini portions of it. Anyway, if you can see right here, this warp broke 3 times within the space of maybe 8 inches. So I was able to salvage it and fix it a little bit. There are these little knots. I don't really care. It's gonna be fine. But yeah, I'm excited to be using this again. I also have a floor loom. It is a Mira 2 by Leclerc. I got it for a steal, y'all. When I was living in North Carolina, I paid $200 for this floor loom. So let me show you what it looks like. I did a little bit of weaving with that today. I've got some towels on there right now, some little tea towels in just this blue, gray, and gold pattern. That yarn was also from Peter Patchis. I really need to look up what his name is before I say it one more time. But anyway, here's the clip. I had to take that scarf off. It was getting really hot. I have to turn my fan off so you don't hear the woom, 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 woom. So there's no airflow in here right now. It's a little warm. I basically just warped that straight in a twill warping. So it just goes shaft 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you do shaft 1, 2, 3, 4 again. I'm just having fun with the pattern, freestyling it a little bit. They have been on that loom way too long. I mean, probably about the same time as the rigid Heddle. And there was a time when I finished 10 tea towels in about 2 or 3 days. So I don't know, I just lost interest in it. So hopefully I'll finish them soon. I feel the itch coming back, especially now that it's getting colder. It definitely seems like it's a cold weather type of activity. Just something about it. There's something about weaving that it's not fun to do, for me at least, when it's hot outside. And now that the weather's changing, it's starting to be a little more gloomy outside. I don't know, that just feels like weaving weather to me. Let's talk about a couple of whips, a couple of new projects that I've started within the past couple of days, which I guess technically count as a whip. And I have one project that I've gotten a lot of questions about, so I figured I would feature it in this video. Let's start with this. So this was my Halloween blanket from last year. It's pretty big. It's very warm. It's very colorful. and I absolutely love it. This pattern is the 6-Day Kid Blanket by Betty McKnitt. And there's a bunch of different versions of this. She's got like a popsicle version, a star version, a great granddad version. But I just took the kid blanket and I used a different color on every row until it was about the length that I wanted it. And there's this really pretty border stitch. Look at this. It's like a little picot. You do little picots all the way around. And I had never done a border around a blanket. This was a 5-row border. It took forever. Like, literally forever. Forever. But it was really exciting, too, because I was like, I'm doing it. I'm actually doing it. And I got it finished, and then I never used it. It stayed on my bed for, like, the fall season, but it was never actually used how it was meant to be used, which was as a blanket. It was kind of just like at the foot of my bed, and it would keep my feet a little extra warm at night, which was nice. But I love it, and I want to start using it. So yeah, that was that's all I really had to say about this. I had a couple questions about it. So it again is the 6-Day Kid Blanket, and I just chose my color scheme and changed colors every single row, did the border, and I'm done. Next up. So my last episode, I was talking about sweater troubles that I have been having, and I think I have overcome them. I cast on 2 sweaters. They are both knit flat. I'm not going to even try in the round for a while. I'm going to try these 2 first. So let me show you the first one. There's not much progress that I've made since you saw this last time, but a good fair bit. This pattern is from Ann Budd in her book called The Knitter's Handy Book of Sweater Patterns. And it's really cool. It's got all different kinds of styles of sweaters, and it tells you basically just knit a little swatch, count your stitches, and then follow the stitch gauge for that pattern that they give you. So she gives you for 3, 4, 5, and 6 inches, or 6 stitches per inch. So for this one, I got 4.5. I think I mentioned that last time. And so I knit the size that would give me the result that I wanted. It's very curly right now, but I'm making progress slowly but surely. And what size needles am I using for this? These are on 4s, 4 millimeters. For all of you that go by numbers, this is a US 6. And it's slow, but it's really drapey, which I love, and it's soft, and I'm thrilled with this. So since I was so thrilled with that, I decided to cast on another sweater since my almanac sweater was a fail, and I'm using the same yarn. I've got a ton of it. It is the Lion Brand Wool Ease, and for this sweater, I chose the Kenan Hoodie. It is a knit hoodie with a hood, obviously. I may scrap the hood. I don't know. It depends on what the final result looks like before I get to the hood part. But I don't really like the look of any knit hood that I've seen. They're all like really pointy, or they're short, or they make you look like a hobbit. I don't know. But I'll see. So let me show you that. So this is it right here. And what I'm going to do, the plan is at least, is to have an uneven striping sequence. So here's a pro tip. I used ChatGPT to generate an image of a knit sweater in the colors that I had in a striping sequence. And I found one that I really like. So I will pop it up here, I don't know. Wherever it goes, you will see. And basically, it took about 5 or 6 iterations for an image that I actually wanted to, reference. And so this is what it is looking like so far. The Kenan sweater is knit flat, and then I believe, the sleeves are also knit flat, and then you seam it together. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do the hood or not. We'll see. But yeah, I hit gauge almost. I'm 1 stitch off, but I did the math and realized if I just go down 1 size in the pattern, then I will get the actual size that I wanted. So I'm getting 18 stitches per 4 inches. The pattern calls for 19. Doesn't seem like that is a big deal, but that adds about 2.5 inches overall. So that's perfect for what I need. I'm still a little bit nervous about the row gauge. It's on, I think. It's a little tricky to measure for some reason. I can't, because, you know, the stockinette part, the knit stitches are taller than the garter stitches. So I never know which one I'm actually measuring, but we'll hope for the best. I'll try it on after I seam it a little bit, and then I'll cry if it doesn't fit. So yeah, this is about 2 days of work. So it's knitting up rather quickly. I've only been knitting on it here and there, not like a maniac. Yeah, I'm very excited about this. So, and look, it actually looks like it's gonna fit a little bit. It might be a little bit like form-fitting, possibly some negative ease, but I know that this yarn is going to relax a little bit once I block it, so I'm not too worried about that. Next up, we have some granny squares. So this is long overdue. Well, I was late to the party. This is the granny stripe square yarn, whatever they call it, the one that changes color automatically. I didn't actually have that much trouble getting it to change on the row that I wanted it to change on. My mom actually bought this yarn. It was on clearance at Walmart. Originally it was like $8. They had it marked for, I think, $3.50. So she actually bought a couple of these and was like, I need a bag. I need you to make me a bag in this. And so far, I've got 2. They're coming along pretty quickly. I normally do my granny squares with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, with 4 rows. So this is a 5-row pattern. So they came out bigger than what I'm used to. So we will have to adjust for that. But these are really fun. I just make one whenever I'm tired of knitting or not working on my blanket. Just pick up one of these. I do enjoy them. The yarn is not something I would want to wear, but for, you know, for a bag, this would be perfect. All right, next up, this sweater has been sitting in a box since probably December. I started it maybe in October of last year. This is the Celeste Sweater by Petite Knit. It is for my mother, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's a little scrunched up right now because it's on a really small needle. I need to add my extender. I took the extender out so that I could knit some other stuff with it. But this is all hand-dyed yarn that I dyed myself. It's knit in the Nomad Marshmallow DK. If you saw my other video, you saw that the DK and the worsted, they're exactly the same yarn. Still feeling gypped about that. But yeah, it's very soft. It's very, smells like a sheep, which could be a bad thing, could be a good thing. I don't mind it. But yeah, it's got this big rolled collar, kind of like turtleneck style. It's got good drape. I actually hit gauge, I believe. I hope. I don't know. But all I need to do is finish the body and add some sleeves and it will be done. So this is my Celeste Sweater by Petite Knits. Okay, my next project was kind of like spur of the moment. I don't know if you guys know of Alt Knots with Kayla on YouTube. Last year, I literally binge watched like every single one of her episodes of like everything that she's ever put on there. I absolutely love her channel. She is so fun and inspirational and just fresh. And I like that. I watch every single episode that she posts within like the first hour that she posts them. And she has made this really cute candy corn themed pillow, but she did granny square style, granny stitch. I didn't want to do that, so I was inspired by her to make this, and it is my candy corn themed pillowcase. It's coming along really quickly. I've maybe only worked on this for like an hour, maybe, I don't know. I don't time myself, but I started it a couple days ago and then just kind of stopped working on it, but it goes really quickly. So this is in the moss stitch where I am changing colors every row, and I did not cut my yarn because you can just carry it up along the side. The only time that I'm cutting yarn in here is when I'm doing the black stripes. So I am going to put this on a 16-inch pillow that I have that kind of is coming apart at the sides. And I love it. It's super soft. The colors are awesome. And I'm really glad that I added the black into it because I think it adds a little bit to the Halloween themed. It was very, I don't know, almost Easter vibes when there was no black, but now there's no doubt that this is a Halloween candy corn color schemed pillow. And I cannot wait to finish it. All right, let's talk about a fail that I had this week. So everybody knows that Beetlejuice just came out. And on the Yarnspirations website, there is a crochet Beetlejuice cardigan. And I was like, yes, I want to make that. However, I don't have the colors that I wanted to use. I mean, I do, but they were being used in other projects, so I wasn't going to use that. So what I decided to do was to try it in Christmas colors. Because I was like, well, I've got so many other projects going on, it probably would be around Christmas time by the time I actually finish this thing, and then Halloween would be over. So here is where I got. This was the back piece, and it does lay vertical like this. And the problem that I have with this, well, there's a couple problems. I didn't hit gauge the first time, so it was like 4 inches too long. So I went down to a 4mm hook. It called for a 5mm, and I was, I think, a 1.5 stitches off gauge. Well, with a 4mm hook, I hit gauge, and that leads to the other problem. This is like a thick, dense fabric. It doesn't really drape that well. It just did not seem like it was worth the effort to make a cardigan that I'm not enjoying. Like the stitch gauge feels so tight that it's almost like that nails on a chalkboard kind of feeling because it's cheap acrylic from Joann's. This is their big twist yarn, and I don't like it. So I took it out. I'm thinking of maybe just doing a different size with my 5mm because the fabric did not feel like this with 5mm, and it actually felt nice and drapey. But I don't know, I didn't really need another cardigan, so this one, I just took it out and said bye-bye. All right, I think that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.